After one of the most volatile weeks on Wall Street ever, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Ever. Today, the market's made up for some of its losses. The Dow closing up just over 600 points. Now, that comes as China is hitting back on President Trump's tariff hike, saying, oh, they're raising tariffs on the U.S. imports as well, from 84% to 125%, and mocking Trump's policy as a joke. But while the president is claiming on social media that they are, quote, doing really well for the American people, that doesn't appear to be the case at all. Experts are estimating that this trade war could cost the average household an extra $4,700 a year. And today, a new survey shows consumer sentiment has plunged 11% to the second lowest level it's been since 1952. That's before I was born, folks, so we're talking time ago. One economist telling CNBC consumers have spiraled from anxious to petrified. And that is being felt across the country. Just listen to what some small business owners are saying.
It's not like we can say, oh, we're just not going to buy from one country. We'll pivot to another country, especially when that country is China, which produces so many of our inventory products.
There's just so much uncertainty and chaos. Every day it seems to be something else coming from the White House or elsewhere. And so it's very hard to plan and predict what's going to happen because of the uncertainty and because of all the chaos that exists.
We're looking at, possibly closing within a year or two if this continues. I just don't see a future, in retail or in this economy, unfortunately.
Joining me now is Jared Bernstein, former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. Jared, it's so good to have you at the table, man, because that's real.
It is real.
That's real. That's not a billionaire talking. That's a small businesswoman who's saying, because of what this government is doing, I may have to close my business in a year because I can't survive in this retail economy that's being created. Talk about what the broader implications are, because a lot of people are quite honestly saying, oh, well, the market was up today.
Yeah. As
if, okay, we've turned a corner. I keep saying that there's like a rapid. You went through the tough part up here. Wait till you get down there.
The market has been extremely volatile, and when the market sniffs that the tariffs might be coming off a bit, it goes up. But then the next day, when it goes the other way, of course, they tank. Look, I think what you just played really gets to the heart of what's going on here. Real average folks who are just trying to get by, who are already stressed by years of high costs, are looking at what this trade war is doing to them, and it's making them ever more anxious. Whether you're a producer, whether you're an investor, or whether you're a consumer, you know how this is hurting your prices. You just showed an estimate of close to $5,000 a year in extra costs for a trade war that, as far as most of us can tell, and I'm speaking for most economists now, is mostly about Donald Trump wanting other countries to just come to him and grovel. The basic rationale for this has never made sense to most of us. So this is self-enforced pain on an economy, by the way, that they inherited that was pretty good at the time.
It was compared to what it is now, it was damn good. And so you really kind of touch on a number of, I think, really interesting aspects of this, not just in terms of the consumer side of it, the retail side of it, but even more broadly speaking, the people who actually do economy, right? So, the folks who are in the bond side of the business, the folks who are on the market side, whether it's Wall Street or Main Street markets. How do you assess the class of people who purportedly are going to ultimately benefit from the reestablishment of the tax cuts that we can't afford in the new legislation in the House? How does all of that factor into?
It's a really important question, Michael, because it is a familiar play to you and I. We've talked about this for, unfortunately, too many years, for Republicans to come in, cut taxes for rich people, and try to offset it, try to pay for it by cutting spending that affects low-income people. We're seeing about $1 trillion in tax cuts going to the top 1% from what the Republicans have proposed, and $1 trillion of cuts in Medicaid and nutritional support. So an offset, which is basically taking from the poor to give to the rich. But there's another wrinkle here, and it's one we haven't seen before, and that's the tariffs. Tariffs are a sales tax on imports, and these are goods that are disproportionately consumed by middle and lower income people. So not only are you cutting their services to offset a tax cut for the wealthy, you're hitting them with an extremely large tax on their living standards. So this is really, you know, a very big problem from their perspective.
You've got a number of screaming headlines that reinforce exactly what you're saying. You've got the AP reporting tariffs will make sneakers, jeans, and almost everything Americans wear cost more, trade groups warn. Work boots made in China that now retail for $77 would go up to $115. A pair of Chinese-made children's shoes that cost $26 today will likely carry a price tag of $41 by the back-to-school shopping this season. Perhaps one of my favorite, though, because the Chinese are not without their humor in all of this from their perspective, because I don't know why Donald Trump thinks that they're somehow going to be groveling and think that they're going to find a lot of pain here. But Chinese officials are posting memes showing the price of knockoff Make America Great Again hats. By the way, folks out there, those of you in MAGA land, where do you think your hat comes from? It comes from China, baby. That's where it comes from. And the spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of Affairs posted a cartoon showing MAGA hats 50% more, right? So you're seeing a hat that, you know, that they're, as you see here on the screen, it was once $59, now $77, et cetera. So that's a poking.
I can't believe that was $59 in the first place.
Well, I don't know who the hell is paying $59 for that hat, to be honest, but there are a lot of people who do. But here's the deal. That's an example of the real world impact of what this administration is doing.